Devin Haney didn't hold back when he jumped on social media recently. Fed up and clearly frustrated, he let the world know exactly how he feels about Teofimo Lopez. In a post on X, Haney said he's tired of Lopez and what he described as racist remarks. That wasn't just a vent session, it was a call to action. Haney tagged Turki Alalshikh directly, urging him to make the fight happen. He wants Lopez and he wants it now. For Haney, it's more than just another bout. It's about sending a message. He's tired of the disrespect, tired of the back and forth, and he's ready to do his talking with his fists. He wants to shut Lopez up once and for all, and to do it in front of the world. But for all of Haney's intensity, it looks like he'll have to wait. As much as he's pushing for a showdown, that fight doesn't seem to be next on the agenda. Turki Alalshikh, the power broker who's been reshaping the boxing world lately, appears to have other ideas. Right now, the spotlight is on a potential clash between Teofimo Lopez and Jaron "Boots" Ennis. That's no small change. That fight would be for the IBF and WBA welterweight titles, and it has serious implications for both. But there's a catch. Ennis still has his sights set on becoming the undisputed king at 147 pounds, and if that ambition takes priority, he might decide to hold off on a Lopez fight. That uncertainty keeps the door slightly open for Haney. For now, he's on the outside. Adding to the complexity, Turki hinted at something else during a recent press conference, something that could affect Haney's immediate future even more directly. He floated the idea of a rematch between Haney and Ryan Garcia. That bout, of course, comes with a whole different set of stakes. Their first meeting didn't exactly blow the roof off the boxing. Both fighters were criticized heavily for their performances, and a second bout might be a chance to silence them. But the clock is ticking. If Turki waits too long to make it happen, the buzz could fade, and both fighters might find themselves drifting even further from the spotlight. And that's not something Haney can afford. Not now. From a strategic standpoint, letting Haney fight Lopez next could be a huge mistake. That's not to say Haney isn't a talented fighter. He is. But Lopez is another beast entirely. He hits hard, he fights smart, and he has a mean streak that shows up in every round. We've seen what he did to guys like Arnold Barboza Jr. and Josh Taylor. He didn't just beat them, he humiliated. If Haney isn't at his absolute best, Lopez could make him look just as bad, or worse. And if that happens, any talk of a Garcia rematch might disappear completely. One bad loss could derail everything Haney's working. He wants to settle a score, but sometimes emotion isn't the best corner. And then there's the issue of Lopez's mouth, something that has stirred up even more controversy. During a recent workout with his father, Lopez made a jaw-dropping remark while talking about Terence Crawford. He said, "Where is that Ven word at?" The backlash was swift and it was loud. A lot of people believe Lopez was trying to bait Crawford into a fight, pushing boundaries to get under his skin. But if that was the plan, it's not going to work. Crawford is a seasoned vet. He's been around too long to get pulled into a fight that doesn't serve his legacy or his bank account. He's only interested in the biggest, most profitable matchups now. And frankly, Teofimo Lopez doesn't fit that description. Not yet. Crawford's name still carries major weight, but his list of potential opponents is shrinking fast. He's at a point in his career where every move counts, and there's only a handful of fighters who can bring in the kind of payday he's looking for. Names like Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez, Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, and yes, Jaron Ennis are still in play. Lopez, with all his drama and unpredictability, just isn't on that level financially. So while he can throw verbal jabs and cross lines all he wants, Crawford's not going to budge. He's chasing greatness and big checks, and Lopez simply isn't a piece of that puzzle. Where does that leave? In a tough spot, honestly. The fight he wants most, against Lopez, might not happen. At least, not anytime soon. And with Lopez possibly tied up with Ennis and Crawford out of reach, Haney has to think long-term. That means focusing on the Garcia rematch. Sure, their last fight left a lot to be desired, but there's still interest there. People want to see if Haney can bounce back, if Garcia can find his rhythm, and if either of them can rise to the occasion. It's not just about redemption, it's about relevance. Haney needs to remind fans why he was once seen as the next big thing. A focused, convincing performance against Garcia could do just that. But if the Garcia fight falls through for any reason, Haney's next best move might be to take a page from the veteran's playbook. Go for a lower risk fight, someone with a name but maybe not the speed or endurance to expose his flaws. He can't afford another performance like the one he had against Jose Ramirez, where he looked more like he was trying to survive than dominate. He needs to look sharp, confident, and in control. A calculated tune-up could buy him time, rebuild his confidence, and keep him in the conversation while he waits for the big opportunities to materialize. Meanwhile, the potential clash between Lopez and Ennis could shake up the entire welterweight division. It's a high-stakes, high-skill matchup that fans would love to see. Ennis is hungry, talented, and undefeated. Lopez is aggressive, dangerous, and loves proving people wrong. Stylistically, it's a fascinating matchup. Both men have the kind of unpredictability that makes for electric fights. But if Ennis decides to wait for a unification bout instead, that would delay everything and could give Haney an unexpected opening. The boxing world is spinning fast these days, with storylines changing overnight and matchups being teased before they're officially made. Promoters are trying to keep up with fan demand while also managing the egos and ambitions of some of the most complex athletes in sports. For someone like Devin Haney, navigating that landscape is no small task. He's got the talent, the drive, and the platform, but timing and decision-making are everything. One wrong move, one bad night, and everything could unravel. Right now, Haney finds himself in a delicate balancing act between pushing for legacy and managing risk. The fire inside him is clear. He wants Lopez, he wants respect, he wants to shut down the noise. But boxing is a game of patience just as much as power. Sometimes you have to play the long game, secure your place, keep your name hot, and wait for the right moment to strike. For Haney, that moment isn't now, but it might be coming. He just has to stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ready, because in this sport, everything can change with a single punch. Still, you can't blame Haney for wanting to silence the noise around Teofimo Lopez once and for all. Lopez has built a reputation as both a dangerous fighter and a loudmouth, and those two things combined make him one of the sport's biggest lightning rods. He's the kind of guy who thrives in chaos. He talks wild, fights wild, and somehow manages to back it up just enough to keep his name hot. But that same volatility makes him a high-risk opponent. Haney isn't just looking at a fight, he's looking at a public battle where one misstep could spiral into a career setback. As much as he wants to prove a point, he also knows the price of stepping into the ring unprepared or emotionally driven. That's what makes this such a tough call. He wants revenge, but he also needs to protect his long-term future. In the meantime, the boxing world continues to shift with every rumor, every press conference, every social media post. Turki Alalshikh is changing the game with his matchmaking, and fighters are starting to see that the road to big money and big legacy moments might no longer run through traditional promoters. For someone like Haney, that presents both an opportunity and a challenge. He has to stay relevant, stay vocal, and keep winning, all while figuring out how to align with the right people. Whether it's a rematch with Garcia, calculated bout against a veteran, or waiting for Lopez to circle back around, Haney's next move has to be smart. Because in today's boxing world, talent is just one part of the equation. Timing, leverage, and public interest are what truly